Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another news roundup by your best boys, GetSelious SithScott. And Scott, take it away. What interesting news pieces we got this week? Oh, this time around, I
Oh,
guess.
the first one is I'm really excited about is New Game Plus Expo has now officially revealed their next online date that they're actually going to be doing an event, as well as the participating publishers that they have. A
Ooh,
lot of them are like in the between, I guess, like indie and not indie. We have Axis Games, Idea Factory, Inti Creates, Natsume, NeoWiz, NIS, Playism, PM Studios, Rocket Panda Games, and Skystone Games, all
interesting.
on the 31st of March.
So it seems like it's a blend of, I would say, smaller publishers and like Japanese, mid-size, and some are smaller publishers, which is, it's like a good mix. Looking forward to the announcements. Maybe Inti Creates will announce another. Let's see, the last game they worked on, Mega Man. Let's see, Azure Gunvolt. That's
That
another
would be
series.
nice.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah. Any
I'm really excited to see NIS because I assume they're probably going to do more trail stuff because they've been doing a lot of trail stuff the last
That's true.
year.
They have been announcing content, and to the point that the Trails series have now voice acting. So we're moving on up.
Yeah.
Yeah. No more text for us. I'm hoping for maybe a collection pack. I'm also NIS could be announcing another Disgaea game. Tons of things in the window for these guys.
That's true because they are getting the complete collection later on. So I wonder if they're going to try announcing something that's going to be coming with 6 anyways.
That's true. That's true.
An Idea Factory, I wonder if they're going to be finally bringing the Japanese so far Neptunia game Sister v Sister news. Because so far the only ones covering it has been Famitsu.
Yeah.
And don't ask me why I'm following everything Neptunia related.
No, it's all for the news sites, for the content, you know.
Clearly.
Alright. No, it would be interesting though. I think, like, I've always had this thing when it comes to some Japanese publishers. Like, for example, so my dad, this is a little guy's personal something. My dad got me into comics. He's a cool dude. My dad purchased an OVE DVD set VHS DVD set of not VHS of Sakura Wars, and I really like Sakura Wars. When I planned to play my first Sakura Wars game for the Sega Saturn, I believe, and then I played the PS2 one, the game that came out of Sakura Wars. I liked the game, but it didn't do that well, and that's when I started learning. Oh, hey. Japanese games, some smaller Japanese published games, though they could be popular and niche over there, have a hard time coming over here.
Yeah, it's very true. Heck, Fire Emblem was a niche game back in Japan that eventually became widespread here.
Yeah. It went from strategy. It's a strategy game that became essentially waifu simulator and husbando simulator.
Oh yeah, big time.
Which, hey man, this is my take of it. It still has a strategy aspect, but I still play it. The strategy's not that bad in the game.
Yeah. And they keep having more new designs for characters and units and ideas, which make it even more fun.
I just hope that they report the entirety of Roy and Eelwood Saga, which is I think it's I think it's Fire Emblem like 4 through 7, 4 through 6. The numbers I get mixed up.
I mean, there's a lot of Fire Emblem games out there that I don't think that I have played.
Yeah, I remember playing most of them through the use of my old friends who used to be internet pirate ship wielders. That's all I can say. It.
I feel that. I remember doing that with my Xbox back in the day.
Right, because that
Not anymore.
Not anymore, because we are responsible gamers. Speaking
Yes.
of responsible gamers, I am giving a small recommendation to Shadow Fate for you guys to try out. The release date, I believe, is April 5th. Shadow Fate is an interesting RPG game. Made by, if I remember,
Made by the Hunting Swan.
Made by the Hunting Swan, exactly. I was going to say Hunting Peacock, but no, it was a bird.
I mean, I guess birds. But
Yeah.
I was looking at that actually as you were talking about it.
Yeah,
I am looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's a very interesting RPG. I'm looking forward to it, and I think that definitely it's something. I think it's definitely something people will like for sure.
Mm-hmm.
If you're into RPGs, there's a lot of good indie RPGs in the last couple of days. So definitely give that a shout out.
So many, and it's hard to keep track of, but it's also sometimes worth it.
Definitely.
But I think like just one thing I really enjoy that it talks about on their Steam page is that it's not going to be a big grind fest. It's going to be more about strategy, and you can actually see all the enemies on the map, so that if you don't want to fight and you only want to do like specific boss fights or something like that, as you just want to keep the strategy type going, you can just do that.
Cool.
I know that Pokemon, like, there's a Pokemon community where, like, you just never do wild fights because you never get your Pokemon leveled up.
Yeah.
They only do trainer fights.
Interesting. I think the cool part about that is like there's some RPGs that do that as well. That you can see all your counters, and your counters are limited, so you don't feel like you're grinding everything to oblivion, which is always nice.
Yeah. You don't have to walk in circles for hours just to get that extra level.
The good old days.
Dragon Quest 3 and through 6.
Yeah, the good. Jeez. I forgot what Dragon Quest it was. I think it's one of the later ones that also, while grinding, you also had like manage your relationship to your wife. So my wife.
I remember. I think it was 5 was the one I remember that you actually were able to choose your wife for the first time out of like 2 characters, and that the only really change was it changed what your kids look like at this last phase of the game.
Pretty much, yeah. So pretty much, not only you're grinding your life, you're grinding your wife to get that stat points you need. But yeah. But speaking of that, what else are interesting things on the docket besides grinding our lives away?
Speaking of grinding our lives away, TMNT, the Cowabunga collection, was announced.
All right. So how many quarters do I have to pay up for this one?
Only $40 actually.
Ooh, and I believe we're getting the tournament fighters, right?
Yep. We're getting, I believe, 13 of the old NES and SNES Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games, which, honestly, I'm surprised there are that many games on there from the TMNT.
Most people probably be interested just to be playing Turtles in Time and Tournament Fighters, but I'm probably excited to play most of them all. It's going to bring up good memories.
Yeah, it'll actually probably be my first time actually trying to give a look at the Manhattan Project. I knew that was a big thing back in the day.
The only thing super interesting about that is Konami dropping the Ninja Turtles, all things like that. I wonder what's happening.
Are you getting ready for another new game that's not just Shredder's Revenge?
Yeah. It's just, hey man, look, to be honest with you, I'm okay with them cashing out like this, Konami doing this every time something big happens. I'm okay with it. Even though I still think it's a bit scumbaggery, but it's better than them not releasing titles,
Yeah, I'd rather that they would release everything in a collection, especially with as big as a collection as this one is. Like, can you imagine if they just released like 3 games, which most people actually were just hoping for 3 games.
No.
The old NES, Turtles in Time, and then like the arcade.
Oh god.
That's all people really cared about, apparently. And it's just like, no, there's a lot more titles, and we're getting a lot of them.
We're getting the titles.
I feel like most people will probably only play like 3 of those games that they get, but hey, you can have access to all of them.
Yeah, you get to live your dreams. I think the best part about that is that it also, I guess it gives a lot of people, like, again, there are, like I said, the Turtle games that people most likely remember. I think those are one for NES people played. I personally love Turtles in Time and Tournament Fighters. Those are my 2 favorites, and getting that and more is nice.
Yeah, I agree.
I wonder if they're pulling the Game Boy ones in there too. There was a couple of Game Boy ones. They were somewhat not that great.
There's a few Game Boy and Game Boy Advance ones that I liked from them. I can't remember what they all were. I think one of them though was based off of like the old 2012 series though.
2012 or 2006?
I think it was I don't remember.
Yeah. It's like there's like.
Oh no, it was the movie. That's what it was.
The movie.
The Game Boy Advance one that was based off the movie was really good.
Yeah.
The old TMNT CGI one.
Yeah.
Okay, now I remember it. Yes, that's the one that I liked.
Good times. The funny thing though is that I wonder if they will also try to re-release they remember a while back they did a remake for Turtles in Time.
Yeah, the reshelled.
Yeah, that was not well received. People called it a D-make at the time. So.
I mean, it had 3D graphics, but it wasn't as pretty, I don't think, as Turtles in Time was.
No, it was. as the kids say, low effort, low
Yeah,
energy plus
that
ratio.
was not the best, but I mean, at least they knew what title everyone was gonna love. 'Cause
Yeah,
Turtles in Time, I think, is always gonna be everyone's favorite.
yeah, you could play. Dude had 4 playable characters. It's right, it was right there,
True.
it was right there in like the perfect squander of the beat 'em up, like the height of the beat 'em up genre, you know?
Yeah. Yes. Moving on. As much as I love talking about Turtles, we still have more to discuss. So Microsoft and Twitch have announced the ID at Xbox, which is like most of their indie developing like stream, which is mainly run by Twitch, which is why a lot of people don't like it as much because it's usually like 3 to 4 hours long to show only like 20 games.
Yeah, I actually prefer the Steam Expo or just using social media for this kind of stuff. Only because at least the Steam Fest, they slam in your face. You can click the page and then download a bunch of demos and play them like we done. Like we found at least a lot of demos we like, you know, from Hell Pie, yeah, to Soldiers. You should check out YouTube page for that. But yeah, I prefer that method more. I think, like, I don't know. That's just me. Maybe it's because I'm more active into it. Maybe people do enjoy a game show once in a while. Or not game show, a stream that just dumps all it for them.
Maybe. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of some of the state of plays that I've seen, which we'll get to later.
Yeah, we'll get to later.
But,
Yeah.
like the Nintendo Direct, I was very happy with.
It's
And I always feel like Nintendo Direct is either like really bad or just like the most amazing thing ever.
Yeah, I feel the same. I feel the same way for like any non-Microsoft panel. It's either extremely, you know, conservative, average. You know what? It's not the banger you expect it to be. But then, or it could be blow out your minds. But you know, at least they put all the games. I mean, the best ones they put the games out there.
Yeah. So that was one thing. They did say that they're going to reveal more of like Stalkers and some of the other titles. Didn't look at all the titles they had, but ultimately they do have, I think, up to 25 games that they're going to be announcing / like premiering / redoing more info on. Microsoft is always notorious for doing their gameplay trailers very late in comparison to other game companies.
See, this is why I prefer to make it to a YouTube video, so I could just like skip forward all that stuff. Yes,
Yeah.
Todd, you talk about how fast you're internet. Yes, Todd, you love ham, cheese, and sandwiches. Come on, Todd, I don't care about this. Stop. Oh man. And as you mentioned, I believe you said something about you weren't a fan of the State of Play. Is that it, or?
Yeah, but before we get to the state of play, let's talk about one last thing. Thanks to Russia. Thank you, Russia. Nintendo delayed the release of Advance Wars 1 and 2, the Reboot Camp.
Yes, I believe it's on near hiatus status. Like it's permanent hiatus. Yeah.
They'll release it when Nintendo says it's okay, and that's as far as they got.
Yeah, I don't know if it could be the world situation or something else. It does feel a bit because I'm a huge Advance Wars fan, and I'm like, I guess I'm not getting it this time. But to be frankly fair, it's probably not from a political standpoint or how things are, it's probably not the best situation to release a game that even though it's light on war, but you know.
Yeah, I'm kind of like in a mix. Like I understand why they're doing it, but at the same time, it's just like I don't think it's gonna do what they think it does.
Yeah, look, Nintendo's playing it safe. They don't want any backlash. Okay, as long as we're mad at them about this, we're not gonna be mad about them when they shut down all our ROM websites. All right.
Yeah, we're mad about this. Yeah, we want to make sure you're not mad about this. Is go and take down another YouTube channel that puts music up that we've refused to release publicly.
God, that hurts so much every time because it's like you could just charge us. Look, I would give you the money. Hell, I would even use my Spotify Deluxe account for it if you want. You know, put the Spotify Premium account.
Seriously.
Sorry.
I mean, heck, Square Enix is now actually doing that, where they're releasing all their stuff on Spotify and YouTube, and it's just like, yes.
There we go, and it's streaming. I don't own it. You know.
Yeah, giving all their music to stream on YouTube, and it's just like this is the way. We need all of the content that we can publicly, so we don't have to find it, I guess, technically illegally.
Technically illegally, of course. But yeah, I guess technically, yeah. And I guess technically,
don't want to talk about, but do at the same time, is the state of play.
Yeah, let's talk about the RPG games. Let's talk about what's making us happy first. We got a new Valkyrie game. That's happiness right there.
Valkyrie Elysium, I'm mixed on, but I do like the graphics on it. I'm sad that they took out the turn-based gameplay of the Valkyrie profiles.
Yeah, it seems like Square is taking another gamble on trying to revitalize a lot of their older properties and try to make it back. Because I heard a very dumb take. People were upset about the Valkyrie games and other recent Square adventures. Is that Square is Square is just Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts. My eyes rolling. They were bigger than that when they were SquareSoft. You know that, right?
Seriously.
They've had all these other properties that were innovative and did some really cool stuff. The major problem with all the cool stuff they did was some of them didn't sell, or people got hated now, but people love now. Like I think we mentioned before here on the News Roundup that there were tons of people growing up that hated Chrono Cross. But now we're getting a remake. We're all like, "Oh, it's the greatest game of all time." Okay, buddy.
It's true. I was one of those people until I finally settled down and played it, which ironically I played it on the PSP.
Right. Exactly.
But yeah, it's mainly because it wasn't Chrono Trigger, and I think to their credit, they did it in a better way than I, as a kid, gave them credit for, because they did it in a way to kind of remove itself from the Chrono Trigger timeline, but still recognizing the Chrono Trigger timeline.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm cool with that as well. And I feel like that's kind of a thing. People get over that. But yes, Square Enix is a company that has a lot of RPs from many RPGs that are not Final Fantasy rated from others. And I think that it's cool they try to bring them back. I think the success of the Dragon Quest series and the success of multiple games, the success of one of my favorite bangers, the Mana series, like Trials of Mana, Children of Mana, all those remakes have been pretty solid. I think we got Romancing Saga, the Romancing Saga series been remade. It's like it makes me happy because the more RPGs to play, I very like them. And it's like, Square trying to mix it up. The Valkyrie series are pretty cool. And that turns to an action base. I'm still hopeful about it, but
yeah.
But Square is more than just Final Fantasy, and this, to put it easily, is that, if you want to think of it from a business standpoint, Square needs to make a diverse portfolio of games so they won't be so dependent on Final Fantasy. You don't want to be in a situation where you're in feast or famine all the time, I would say something Capcom is. Capcom is always in feast or famine. If a game bombs, they're in trouble. If a game sells, they're the best in the world. Street Fighter V may not do well, but then Monster Hunter Rise becomes the greatest game of all time,
Yeah, that's a fair way to put it.
I don't think feast or famine doesn't work.
To just bring back Devil May Cry again.
Exactly, we'll go Devil May Cry 6 and boom, feast or famine. But yeah, I believe there's some other games launched, at least listed the state of play. Am I correct?
Yeah, another one that I'm actually kind of excited about is the Dio Field Chronicle. So I'm sure as many others were expecting this to be the Final Fantasy Tactics remake that was been in the rumor gate. And then when the actual title was revealed and some of the land was revealed, we were like, this is not what we're used to. And it's because it's a new game, it's just built in a similar engine that Final Fantasy Tactics used, which is great. They're gonna actually do some more strategy RPGs. I'm guessing Triangle Strategy was something that made them see that, this actually works.
Yeah. Now we just wait for Atlas to release the Tactics Ogre series, and we'll see what real strategy is. Or,
Oh, yeah.
Or, so I could wag my nose and say, hey, guys, want to see some Disgaea combos? Want to see one time we did nothing wrong?
Oh my gosh. Disgaea combos, though, I swear, those things are just ridiculous.
Yeah, and the thing is that if you play on a higher difficulty, enemies can do it to you too, so it's all about how to space yourself. It's really fun. But no, I'm glad that Square is experimenting with it. I guess you were excited for, what was it? It being another Final Fantasy Tactics game?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's like a Tactics I want to say remake, but it's like a Tactics engine.
Right.
So I'm really excited that they're utilizing that for Dio Field Chronicle.
Yeah, I feel like Final Fantasy Tactics, at least that type of game, hasn't been around for a long time. I think the only strategy games we had right now of that ilk were just games like Disgaea or roughly games like Disgaea, RTS type games, or Fire Emblem type games.
Yeah.
Which is not bad. I got nothing against that. You know, they're cool. But it's nice to see a Final Fantasy type game in that. And like I said, I'm also hoping that Tactics Ogre comes out so people can have a diversity. Like I said, I think I said this before. You said it, and you said it before. I agree. I think we're in the last 10 plus years has been a golden age for RPGs, big and small.
Yeah. Especially with how much more like RPGs have been made through like indie developers.
Yep.
There's just a lot to really sink your teeth into.
Definitely. But yeah, let's
especially with Legend of Heroes bringing their games back.
Yeah. Good stuff. So what made you feel like that disappointed about the state of play?
I think the thing I was most disappointed about in State of Play is a lot of the stuff we already kind of knew about, like the Trek to Yomi. We already knew about, well, Forspoken, Strangers of Paradise, Ghostwire Tokyo. So a lot of the things that they showed are already things that we already knew was like in the works because they've already been revealed.
Right.
But I mean, it wasn't bad. It was just I was expecting them to have some like big banger or something.
I think they took the very, as I say before, the conservative, the safe approach. This is what we're having now. They're announcing what we have in a year. They may have stuff in the pipeline maybe, but they don't want to they want to contain the hype. You know, the hype is real. The hype is the hype for this.
Fair. Because most of these are like 2022, aside from the futuristic Exo Primal, which everyone is not happy about because it wasn't Dino Crisis, even though it totally like baited Dino Crisis in the first half of the trailer.
Yeah, get teased upon.
That character looks a lot like the character of Dino Crisis. This looks a lot like dinosaurs in Dino Crisis, and now it's no longer looking like Dino Crisis.
Would you have been more upset if it was it Dinosaurs and Cadillacs 2?
I don't know. I mean, if I could drive with a dinosaur in the Cadillac, that'd be sweet.
Wait, have you played Dinosaurs and Cadillacs?
I have not, actually.
Dinosaurs and Cadillacs is one of the weird Capcom beat 'em ups they made during times. Graphically, it's pretty cool, but yes, you drive cars and dinosaurs beat up people. Yes.
I will say one thing that I really enjoyed of this was the trailer of Forspoken actually looked a lot more polished and a lot more fun than the one they had in like last year.
Yeah, definitely. Hence why I think we discussed in one of our prior news roundup, you guys could check that out, is that's kind of one of the reasons why they probably made a delay, because they're making that huge update. They made we gotta spice this game up a bit, you know?
Yeah, and I don't mind that at all. I'm fine with delays as long as it's not like, I don't know, for dumb reasons.
Yeah, fair enough.
Advance Wars notes.
No. I'll like I said, I'll leave Nintendo to be culturally sensitive at the right times, but as long as they don't make us talk about, hey, why you taking down my YouTube channel? Why you took down my website, bro?
Another fun thing I think is they brought JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battles back.
Yes, they did. They have some new characters for that. I definitely want to talk about that. So, JoJo Bizarre Adventures. Let me be honest with you. The game is what term is called as Kusoge. Kusoge means shit game. I mean, it gets very broken. But just because something's broken doesn't mean it's not fun. Look at Marvel 2. Look at all the Versus games. These are very clearly broken games, but doesn't mean they're not fun. So I'm very excited to play this. I'm a huge JoJo fan. I've been... and I think I probably tweeted out, but anyway, Viz Media has been reprinting the JoJo collection in hardcover, and I have collected all through part 1 through 4, and they're reprinting part 5 right now. And I have all 3 volumes as of today of part 5. So every time, I'm a huge JoJo guy. Yeah, I'm very excited to see it.
I honestly didn't realize that Cyber Connect 2 was the one who originally did All-Star Battle. They're returning for this one too.
Bring them back, bring the boys back. I'm looking forward to the new characters. I want to see my Jonathan Infinites. Jonathan from Battle Tennessee Infinites. There was a Wamu Infinite by just doing Jumping Heavy. It's pretty hilarious. I want to see if they'll just port it over and not balance anything, but I'm looking forward to the chaos this game will bring to us. Oh, and please have rollback netcode.
JoJo.
Oh, and yeah, please have rollback netcode so someone can feel the infinite and full crisp when I hit him with it.
Feel the infinite aura.
Yeah, that's what I can hear. They deserve it. I won. But oh man, I'm so excited. But yeah, but I do agree that the state of play, like my take of it was that it had a lot of interesting games that I would look for this year, but not to the future. And I think that's and that's something that we should definitely look into consideration and talk about. Like, should we expect our game shows to have things to refer to the future or to now? And I think a blend of both is probably the best. You got anything to say about that, Scott?
Yeah, like honestly, what I think at least if I was the one in charge of these videos, I'd probably have like the beginning and the last one as like things that are coming out like further in, so they can have it as like the things that bring your attention. Like imagine if they like began it with like more footage of like say the remake of Knights of the Old Republic, something people have been extremely happy of seeing about and seeing more of. And just saying, hey, it's still in the pipeline, it's still a little rough, but it'll still be here eventually. And then you could have a lot of the games that are going to be coming out this year, and then you end it with some big, like, I wouldn't say like a big new announcement, but something that hasn't either been revealed. Like, I think Valkyrie Elysium was actually an okay ending for this to end on, because it was something that nobody's really expecting. The Valkyrie profile games have been like on a mobile gacha status since 2015 or something like that.
Right. And I was super surprised at it because, again, Square is reviving a lot of their older RPGs, and I think that's a good thing. I think that even, like I said, we're in the golden RPGs, but a lot of people haven't played a lot of RPGs that I know of. Like, I recently had a conversation with a young person, with somebody on off stream. It was not off stream, I'm not streaming, off video, and before recording, and they had no idea what Suikoden was. It's like, what was it? Would it be cool to play an RPG where you collect party members? You mean Suikoden? I'm like, what's that? I'm like, oh my god. And it makes me feel like, oh my god, I am not only I'm old, like holy crap, there's people who have experienced one of the greatest RPGs concepts of our timeline.
Imagine Suikoden being a niche game.
Yeah, exactly. That's not baller. Oh man, and I guess with that, Scott, give us the you want to summarize the our news roundup, or?
I would love to. So, we talked about the new Game Plus Expo that will be happening in March 31st. We talked about Shadow Fate, which will be coming to Steam on April 5th. We talked about the Cowabunga collection being announced on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Microsoft announced their indie development showcase by Twitch. I've also discussed about the Advanced Wars delay and the state of play. All of our gripes as well as what we liked about it.
Yeah, well, the only thing I'm griping about is when they're gonna launch that Suikoden collection. You know, you get the Cowabunga collection. Come on, Konami, get on that.
Right?
Oh god, like honestly, if they just release 1 through 3, I'll be happy. Though, you know, there's 4 was the worst of the series because it was just so much grinding. It was like the encounter rate so high. 5 is good too, but yeah, they get through 4. And then we get the spin-off games, because there was Suikoden Tactics. I actually own that. And there was the Suikoden DS game, which is also pretty cool.
Yeah, I actually didn't play any of the spin-offs.
Ooh, wow, I think you may have liked Suikoden Tactics if you beaten Suikoden 4.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you may have liked that. I think you may have liked that. Yeah, and Suikoden, the DS one, Detskatsu, it's a very classic RPG game with Suikoden in it. It kind of holds you over. It's like that. Let me get that sweet Suikoden game before Suikoden 5 came out. You know.
Gotcha. That's exciting.
Yeah. And I guess with that covers all the everything's a news roundup. Thank you guys for lasting this long. This video's a bit on the lengthy side, I guess, for us. And yeah, be sure to follow us on our social medias, which is linked before. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit like as well, and hit the bell as well to be notified next time we go live. This is GetSelious and SithScott signing out, and we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.